It starts with a situation that had already been sitting in the background, but suddenly gets pulled right back into the spotlight. For a while, the conversation around Mizkif and Emiru had been filled with accusations, reactions, and a lot of public commentary from different creators. But recently, things shift. A legal-focused perspective starts circulating, pointing out that Emiru didn't necessarily change her story, but clarified that the term she used wasn't meant in a strict legal or criminal sense. Instead, it was described more as an emotional truth rather than a legal accusation, and that distinction matters, because in legal terms, wording like that can completely change how a situation is interpreted. Some people start questioning whether creators jump too fast to strong conclusions without fully understanding the situation. And then Mizkif responds. He comes out publicly, clearly frustrated, saying the situation has had a real impact on his life. He talks about being labeled in extreme ways in public, about how people look at him differently, and how the accusations, whether accurate or not, have followed him into real-world situations. There's a sense of anger, not just at the situation itself, but at people he once considered friends who, in his view, didn't stand by him. He pushes back hard, claiming that what's been said about him isn't true, and that the narrative built around him has gone too far. At the same time, he acknowledges how difficult it is, saying this isn't something you can just move on from when your reputation is tied to it. Now, the situation isn't just about an accusation anymore. It's about wording, interpretation, public reaction, and the consequences of all three colliding online. What started as a situation between individuals has turned into something much bigger, with legal implications, public opinion, and personal reputations all tangled together. After Mizkif's response, clips, screenshots, and highlighted documents start circulating online, with certain lines pulled out and pushed as proof. To a lot of people seeing it at a glance, it looks like confirmation, like he said, more than he actually did. And once that narrative starts spreading, it moves fast. Posts begin framing it as fact, not interpretation. That's where the shift happens, because now it's no longer just about what Emiru said or what originally happened. It becomes about what Mizkif supposedly admitted. And once that idea takes hold online, it's hard to stop. People start repeating it, building opinions around it, and treating it like a settled conclusion. But Mizkif responds directly to that. He pushes back hard, saying the claim that he admitted to everything is completely false. According to him, that narrative is exactly what he believes is defamatory, because it takes things he said, twists them, and presents them as admissions of far more serious accusations that he says he never agreed to. He makes it clear. He denies admitting to SA, stalking, or abuse. And you can feel the frustration in how he addresses it, not just at the accusation itself, but at how people are running with it as fact. From his perspective, the issue isn't just what's being said anymore, it's how it's being repeated and believed without people going back to the original context. But instead of calming things down, it does the opposite, because now the conversation splits again. Some people double down on the idea that his past words still come across like admissions, arguing that even if he didn't explicitly say it, the way he handled things or responded at the time is what convinced them. For them, it's less about exact wording and more about interpretation and perception. Others push back in the opposite direction, saying this is exactly how misinformation spreads, where clipped lines and out-of-context screenshots get turned into definitive claims. They argue that people are building a narrative first, then using selective evidence to support it. Aisha Speed shocked that a fangirl hopped in his car and smooched him.
I love you! I love you, please! Hey! Why he just kissed? Bro, she kissed me, bro. What the hell going on, bro?
In recent news, it starts with a clip that was always going to spark a reaction the moment it left the stream. Asmongold is live, speaking on a topic that's already one of the most debated online, gender and biology. During the conversation, he makes his position clear, sharing in the following.
Being transgender is not the same as being a biological female. It's not. It doesn't matter how many times you repeat the lie to each other. It doesn't matter how many upvotes you get. It doesn't matter how many likes you have. It doesn't matter how many institutions tell you that you're a good boy. Biology is still the same. And it's not going to change. It's not going to become different. You're not going to have some sort of understanding. It's just bad gaslight. Yes, it's like basically people covering their ears saying, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. No, they're real, it's the same thing, it's the same thing. It's so embarrassing, isn't it? It is. You never be an ovarian warrior. Yeah, exactly. When we speedrun, I know as a girl in Subnautica. Well, the thing is, a lot of the female speedrunners, you know, many of them are trans also. So, like, they're biological men. So, I mean, I've seen this too. I mean, it's a phenomenon. I don't even know how it happens, but it's true. Look it up.
And once it's clipped, it spreads fast. Twitter pages pick it up, reaction accounts amplify it, and within hours it's no longer just something said on stream. It becomes a talking point across the internet. On one side, there are people agreeing with Asmongold's stance. They frame it as common sense or basic biology, arguing that acknowledging biological differences shouldn't automatically be seen as an attack on transgender people. Some of them even try to separate everyday trans individuals from the online debates, saying most people just want to live their lives without being dragged into constant arguments. But on the other side, the reaction becomes much more critical, and in some cases, much harsher. Some responses go beyond disagreement and turn into outright hostility, with people using inflammatory language instead of actually engaging with the point being made. That shift is where the conversation starts to break down, because instead of debate, it turns into people talking past each other. Then there's another group sitting in the middle, focusing less on taking sides and more on how quickly everything escalated. For them, it's not just about whether the statement is right or wrong. It's about how a single clip turned into a massive online argument, with thousands of people jumping in, each adding their own interpretation. And that's where the situation lands. Forsen beats XQC record.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Failed OnlyFans star Alinity gets exposed by Nick Lee for intentionally starting a fight with her ex-boyfriend so she could hook up with random men.
She was like, the lifeguard at the event was very cute. And she's just like, and you know, other girls were like, yeah, he's very cute, right? And then she was just like, man, you know, I wouldn't mind spending a night with him. They're like, yeah, you know, whatever, right? Girl chatter. And then she goes, but I have a boyfriend. I should probably like call him and it'll probably start a fight and then, you know, we'll be broken up and I'm not cheating because we're broken up, you know, and then we'll probably get back together like tomorrow, but like tonight I'm clear. Now, you might say, what is the reciprocity of that? Well, let me tell you something, okay? This guy was running her entire back end, doing her OnlyFans, you know, making sure everything works, okay? Not nearly to the level I was, but enough to where it was kind of like, but your entire way of generating revenue, is this smart? Is this smart? You know? That's also how my agency got the business, because she did do that. And he was incapable of managing the OF for a bit after that. You get what I'm saying? In fact, allegedly, he was coked out on the streets and got arrested.
Literally the method every girl will use. Other favourites include Let's Have a Break or the all-time favourite Girls Trip. If my OFGF is cheating on me and I'm running her books, you best believe I'm taking her to the effing cleaners first before I break up with her. Lyric witnesses an, almost, perfect helicopter landing.
I'm landing north of Pagari, watch out. I've never landed a plane before. Big helicopter coming to figure 8.
Wait, this guy's never landed a plane before? Hey, get away from me! Wow, he landed. Oh, wait.
Rest in peace!